Welcome back to I Can't Cook. This week, as our seasons are slightly changing in Australia, we're going to do some salads, really basic stuff. And those salads can be doubled up as main course meals as well. So we've watched a couple of different videos of how to cook some eggs. I thought adding some greens to your plate might help as well. So stay tuned, here we go. Okay, tomato, cucumber, fennel, olives, salt and pepper, olive oil. Really simple, nutritious, and here's our clock. So we're starting at about 1:25 p.m. So what we'll do is we'll just take off the ends of the cucumber. We'll actually get them peeled, and again, I'm doing this for the first time, so bear with me, but again, trying to show this in real time to see, how long these things will actually take you at home, in your kitchen. I won't do any costings because everyone buys their ingredients from different places. I prefer going down to a local fruit and veg market on a Sunday morning. It's a great way to get out of the house. The local fruit and veg market is located right on the water, so there's fresh fish as well. So first up, the cucumber. Let's do this carefully. Remember, that's the ouchy end, so take your time, don't cut yourself. Just do it very, very carefully. This can be thick, can be thin, entirely up to you. I actually prefer them thick, so you've got a little bit of texture to what you're consuming. Alright, so first ingredient is the cucumber. Second one will be tomato. So I actually don't take the tops out of them. I think it's a waste of tomato.
At your local producers market, you buy ingredients and get a chance to talk to the growers directly. You buy seasonal products. Buying seasonal products is also cost effective and ensures freshness. What you eat is picked and sold generally within 48 hours, so it must be healthy. There's no long-term storage of the fresh fruit and vegetable product, no plastic packaging to remove and dispose of, creating additional landfill. So buying from the farmer's market direct will get you farm to your fork, which must be sensible and a better option for your overall health.
I mentioned that I go down to the local farmer's market. We have a lot of local producers there. And I came across something that I just couldn't resist this morning. I actually haven't taken it out yet, but I'm just about to. Okay, fennel. Whole fennel, cut down the middle, set aside half.
And if you don't like what you buy at the farmer's market, generally the actual producers will know you by name and happily replace whatever you've bought the week before just on your say-so. No receipts will be required to get replacement goods.
Okay, in the final product, as far as garnish is concerned. So here is separated some fennel for garnish. Add the fennel to your salad mix. Fennel, tomato, cucumber. In here I've got some homemade olives, black and white. So they're just fantastic, just sprinkle them inside. A little bit of seasoning, salt and white pepper, which is my preference. Now, dressing. Olive oil, and again I mentioned that we've got some great local producers, don't be frightened. Olive oil is stunning as a product and a beautiful, better when it doesn't go half across the floor. I'm trying to beat the clock here. Okay, so this is what I found at the farmer's market. So this is essentially bread that's old, and then it's been double baked. It's either been baked go. Stay it on the shelf, and then to utilise it later, or to make sure that it doesn't go to waste, I've actually seen this in Europe where they consume it with coffee in the morning. I'm not going to pretend that I'm strong enough to plate that. So let's try to add some bits to it. There's only one way to mix this in, and that is get your hands ready. You've got your plates. Let's hope it's all in focus. Make sure you mix all these ingredients inside. Could have used a bigger mixing bowl, but I don't have a lot of equipment, so it is what it is. So now to plate it with your bread, which is going to absorb some of that wonderful olive oil and tomato. There we go, try to balance up a little bit of colour. Should have really had a tea towel. A bit of the fennel on top to give it some colour. Then we're going to go back to, actually we won't use that. We'll use a little bit of this juice in the base of the dish. Drizzle some on top. And the finished product, which took less than 6 minutes, will taste good, will nourish you, it'll get rid of your old bread as well, and it'll give you something really appetizing to eat in the summer months. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so here's our second salad for today, and again we're going to do them in real time, so the time is here. It's around about the 20 to 2. So we'll get a plate ready. Our three main ingredients are watermelon, Greek feta cheese, we've got mince, olive oil, salt and pepper, balsamic vinegar, and that's it. So let's see how this pans out. And again, really carefully. Now, because you're dealing with a surface that isn't straight, I didn't throw that on the floor, I've got a bin down there, thankfully. Try to straighten out your actual product that you're cooking or cutting. Righto. Now I've used seedless watermelon. I bought them from the market this morning. What I'm going to do now is just take off the exterior fleshy parts. This is one of those salads that you really shouldn't be prepping the night before or even a couple of hours earlier. This is something that you should probably be doing when you get there, when you get home. You're tired, you're thirsty, you're hot, you're grumpy. Well, this is perfect. So we're just going to interlace some of this beautiful sweet fresh watermelon.
At this point in time, I've got a small confession to make. You know, I did not turn on the second camera, so if you see 2 watermelon salads, let that be a lesson to all of you YouTube makers. Make sure your cameras are rolling because it will save you some time. So you get to see 2 plates at the end of this particular section, and it's because I simply forgot to turn on the second camera. Securing a cutting board at this point in time would have been much better than running the risk of cutting my fingers. I've been told by a friend of mine that the way to do this is by applying a wet cloth underneath the board, which would stop all movement and therefore make it much safer. I must admit I was feeling the pressure because I was cooking against the clock.
Mince for a little bit more colour definition. A bit more salt. Balsamic vinegar. And just a touch of olive oil. And
and you're done. Almost. Cool. Sometimes you have a really good day and other days are just not on your side. Alrighty. So, for the garlic, try to do them in less chunky shards than that. Again, go slowly, because you don't want to be injured in this process. Top and tailing the beans is probably the biggest and most painful hurdle of the salad. So what we do is we just take top and bottom off. We'll give it a wash before it goes into the fry pan. Now the reason why I'm doing this is to ensure that I can just show you how much time it actually takes to put this together. I'm going to stop recording now, come back with 2 cameras, and you'll be able to see on the clock how much time it took. Okay, I'm going to bring out just a few broad beans. I'm going to use broad beans in the actual mix for the salad. I just wanted to show you how you actually extract these. Now again, I've gone to the farmers. They've given me the broad beans. They're a little bit harder than the actual green beans themselves. So essentially just snap them open, extract the actual pips. I'll turn off the camera now and come back to you when I'm sorted. Okay, welcome back. So now that we've prepped a few salads, I've done a watermelon salad, a cucumber salad, I'm about to do a warm salad as well. Now you do this in a fry pan, so we're back to our basics of just one fry pan. I'm using a non-stick Scam Pan fry pan. It's really expensive, the kit, and it does all the things. You can bake with it, you can put a roast on it, you can chuck it in the oven, you can do pretty much anything. It's indestructible. Just do not put your knife and chop away on the surface, otherwise this becomes a $500 piece of junk. Your fry pan's on here, we're just waiting for some heat to come up. I'm going to run through a few of the ingredients that we have for you. So I've got garlic and broad beans in there. We just cleaned some broad beans. I've got a little bit of butter. I've got some red capsicum because I like some colour with it. Now we've used balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, this balsamic oil we've used for the actual watermelon, red wine vinegar, which is my absolute favourite, homemade. We use some for the simple cucumber, tomato, fennel salad. Now we're just going to use olive oil and lemon juice. High acid in this particular lemon. This is going to be a pretty meaty type of salad. So we're going to actually make sure that we use lemon juice and olive oil as it's mixing blends, salt and pepper. We're going to start with a little bit of butter, and I'll show you through the process as we go. Now you might say, why do I need to know how to cook or how to make some salads? First up, you need to make sure that you can actually feed yourself. The second reason is that barbecuing, and particularly if you're invited to a barbecue, is a really male-centric domain. Generally, there's a king of the barbecue somewhere. Take a look at this footage. This is what my family sends me when they're having a barbecue. Now, as you can see, this guy has got, one of my cousins, or one of my relos has got, a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 barbecue, which was forged and handmade. So when he's cooking his goat,
on the actual barbecue. He wants everybody to know that it was A, his barbecue, B, his brilliance, that served up all this magnificent food. So, if you take charge of a barbecue and you cock it up, and occasionally you can, people are going to go, oh, I went to that barbecue, it really killed this, or that really didn't work, I really didn't like that. But if you can value add to the actual afternoon by producing some salads, and you can do them relatively quickly, then you too could be a hero in your own right, even if you don't have $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 to spend on a purposeful barbecue. Moving along. What I've done, given that it's COVID, is I've made sure that I've washed the actual beans. So oil and water don't really like each other because the water will burn the oil. So just be mindful that you need to have this as dry as possible before you drop it in there. Righto. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to add my garlic and my broad beans. Now, this is all going to happen really, really quickly. The broad beans are slightly thicker than the actual beans themselves. So I just want them on or in the fry pan long enough. In the meanwhile, while that's gaining a bit of colour, what I want to do is I'm going to add some capsicum to this. But the capsicum I don't want to actually cook. I want something that you can pick up with your fingers and is slightly crunchy in the actual warm salad. So, just move those beans around a bit. The raw beans, that is. As you can see, the water's reacting to the olive oil. Move that in the fry pan. Try to get some colour on those. I'll chop these up into pieces that resemble the beans in terms of shape. Don't really want that white piece in there, throw that away. Beans are done. With your lemon, make sure you squeeze your lemon from the outside so it's easy to do it by hand when you're ready. Back to your warm beans. That's what happens when you try to be like Gordon Ramsay. You get it everywhere. These things happen. So again, what we're trying to do is get two different textures from this particular product. Now, here's my beans and my broad beans. I'm getting some colour on the beans and broad beans. I haven't seasoned anything yet, right? If you start seasoning too early, the flavours of your seasoning concentrate, and you don't want a concentrated seasoning flavour. So if you put just enough salt at the beginning, by the time you finish the cooking process, it's going to be way too much salt. So that's a no-no. I also want a little bit of sheen to this product, so I'm just going to add a dollop of butter. There we go. I'll practice and practice and practice that. Now I'm going to use only one or two of these. I don't want the crunch, but I'm doing it at the very end of the process. I've got some raw ones as the base. I'm just about ready to serve. I'm just going to try to, I'm just not brave enough to try to do that spoon thing again. So we know that the garlic is cooked. The butter has added some sheen to it. We've got some red with the capsicum. Now, salt, pepper. What I've been noticing recently is when you go to a restaurant and you pick up the food and you actually don't have to season the food because it's seasoned perfectly, that's halfway to having a fantastic meal. Okay, I've also got a tiny bit of that leftover homemade red wine vinegar that I'm crazy about. I just put a tiny bit of a splash in there. Lemon. You sort of put your hand under that. So that the pips don't go in there. Pin's just down there, I'm not dropping it on the floor. Alright. So, get all that off of the actual map of Australia. Block of Australia, should I say. And now we're going to dish up this perfectly healthy. What is that? There we go. Now, so we bring you warts and all for your entertainment. Okay, so there we are. We've got 3 salads, 1 super healthy, 1 super summary, 1 super standard. These are the things that you need to know how to do as a basic minimum, I would have thought. Hope you enjoyed that. We will catch you next time. Please subscribe, please tell your friends, and leave any comments below if you want me to cook something for you. Cheers.